At this point, they got to go defense.
No, they need to pick right here. I think that they're going to go defense just based on that talent.
They have to.
I do see what you're saying with this, but let's hear. Melissa Connor is about to deliver the official pick right now as the Rams are about to make their selection.
With the 14th pick of the 2011 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Robert Quinn, defensive end, North Carolina.
Another guy who is being talked about as a potential #1 pick before being suspended for the 2010 season, Tom.
You mentioned, Joey, Robert Quinn missing the entire 2010 season after the agent scandal there in North Carolina, but this guy had a phenomenal sophomore season at UNC. Had 14.5 sacks coming off the edge, going to fit in perfectly. It was a 4-3 rusher off the 4-3 side in the St. Louis Rams defense. And Steve Spagnuolo, we know how much he loves pass rushers, and he got a good one right here in Robert Quinn.
I'll tell you what, Joey, Steve Spagnuolo must have been salivating to see Robert Quinn drop all the way to 14. This is a perfect fit for him. He's a defensive guy. He got definitely the best defensive player left on the board in Robert Quinn.
Yeah.
Certainly needed some offensive help, maybe at line for St. Louis, but there's not that many interior linemen that are this high of value to take at 14. So I think Robert Quinn, definitely a great pick for St. Louis.
Robert Quinn, also one of the most interesting people in this draft because of the fact that he did miss the 2010 season. We go now to Steve Roth, who's actually at UNC's Pro Day, for more in-depth information on Robert Quinn.
Joey, like you said, I was at the UNC's Pro Day a little while ago and spoke to Robert Quinn, and trust me, he is happy to be going wherever he's going in this draft. He doesn't care what pick that he went, and he sure is happy to be there. One thing interesting about Robert Quinn is he sat out last season due to some violations of NCAA rules, but that didn't stop him from being the 14th overall pick. Numerous UNC players showed off their skills on the day, the biggest name being defensive end Robert Quinn.
There we go.
Quinn improved several of his numbers from the combine to increase his chances of becoming a top 10 selection. Close to the media were his improved broad jump, his shuttle time, and his reps on the bench press. However, everyone saw Quinn's highly anticipated 40-yard dash time improve considerably from a 4.70 to a 4.59.
I was definitely happy with my performance. A lot of my numbers improved from the combine. So, I mean, it's kind of put a smile on my face knowing how much I gained in such a short time. So hopefully people see that and I continue to work hard, and hey, I guess it'll pay off.
Quinn may be a stellar football player, but his skills extend to another sport.
The wrestling background, I think, is sometimes a little bit understated. Just from a competitive standpoint, when you're in a wrestling match, it's you. There's nobody else. It's one-on-one. The balance, the coordination, the upper body strength that it takes to be a really talented wrestler, I think that helped him enormously in hand-to-hand combat with offensive linemen.
Quinn has gone through a lot to get to where he is today. He still faces constant questions regarding his NCAA violations that ended up keeping him from playing football last season. The University of North Carolina declared him ineligible for violations of NCAA agent benefits, preferential treatment, and ethical conduct rules. Quinn received nearly $6,000 in benefits.
About every team I talked to, they brought it up. But I mean, like I told you, I just got to just put it in the past. You got to move on. You got to mature from it and learn from your mistakes. Kind of really just got to keep it moving.
With the expectations of a player like Robert Quinn, it can sometimes be difficult to avoid looking at mock drafts.
I'll be honest, I looked at it a couple of times here and there it's like I said, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You only get drafted once, so I'm just curious what people say. It's kind of a motivate the fact that when I see something negative and kind of put a smile on my face when I see something positive. So it's kind of I guess slightly motivating for me.
UNC head coach Butch Davis has coached countless successful NFL players. Robert Quinn is one of the top defensive ends that Davis has ever coached.
He's got remarkable speed and burst off the edge. Pro scouts and the college guys, they like seeing the closing speed that he's got. I know they worked him out today a little bit as a stand-up defensive outside linebacker just to look and see if there would be the versatility.
Another head coach was also impressed with how Quinn performed. Ron Rivera and the Carolina Panthers hold the #1 pick.
Well, I think Robert's done a great job. You put tape on the kid and you watch him. He's done some really nice things in his career. Come out here and watch in a controlled environment. He does a very nice job, very solid, good performance.
The years and years of hard work that Robert Quinn has put forth all culminate today, on the biggest day of his life, NFL Draft Day.
Now Robert Quinn can finally put aside his NCAA violations and consider a new career in the National Football League. Joey, back to you guys.
Steve, great stuff as always. Listen, the last time a UNC player went in the top 15, it was Julius Peppers. So certainly some good pedigree there for Robert Quinn at the number 13 spot. Listen, this is maybe the most important time of the draft right here. Teams like the St. Louis Rams that narrowly missed the playoffs. We look now at the Miami Dolphins, a team that also didn't quite get to the promised land.
The 2010 Miami Dolphins entered the season with questions abounding on both sides of the ball. Bill Parcells, who is credited with the success of the 2008 Dolphins, left the team after 2 seasons as Executive Vice President of Football Operations. Without missing a beat, the team signed free agent linebacker Carlos Dansby away from the Arizona Cardinals and acquired Pro Bowl receiver Brandon Marshall from the Denver Broncos, filling 2 gaping holes on offense and defense. Many analysts believe that quarterback Chad Henne was poised for a breakout season with his new weapon, but he was unable to deliver and was even benched at one point in favor of ex-Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Tyler Thigpen. One of the bright spots, though, was linebacker Cameron Wake, who was a Pro Bowler in his first real NFL season after previously playing for the BC Lions of the Canadian Football League. The Dolphins stumbled all season, failing to find a consistent rhythm on offense and struggling on defense, and for the second consecutive year, finished with a record of 7-9.
7-9 just isn't good enough for the National Football League. Tom, what do they need to push them over the brink?
Well, absolutely. For Miami this year, they're starting to get a little older. Running game struggled this past season. I think you're going to see them try to attack that interior line, get someone in there and get some push on the offensive line, really boost up that running game once again.
Yeah, 6th overall defense in the league last year, so they're sitting pretty when it comes to defense. Not a lot of holes on offense, but as Tom said, interior lineman, maybe another wide receiver to go across from Brandon Marshall.
Right.
And also is Chad Henne the answer at quarterback? Is he your guy of the future? Had some serious problems at quarterback last year, but I think they have to go lineman here. Jake Long, obviously, anchoring the line at left tackle, a monstrous guy, great first overall pick a few years ago. Interior line, center, offensive guard, definitely needs some help.
Okay, so we've got your opinions. Let's see what Josh Norris thinks are the top 5 best available players. Still at number 1, Prince Amukamara, someone he had ranked very highly, 6th originally, still waiting there on the board at number 15. Second is Corey Liuget, the defensive tackle from Illinois, another standout defensive lineman at number 3. Cameron Jordan, and guess what? Another defensive lineman at number 4, Daquan Bowers from Clemson. Number 5 is Brooks Reed, and defensive end outside linebacker hybrid from Arizona. So, guys, we're going back to the well once again. It's all about defensive talent. Let's look at Prince Amukamara. Why is he still on the board?
That's a great question, Joey. There is no reason he should still be on the board. There are a handful of teams that have already passed on Amukamara, who we thought definitely needed quarterback help, definitely needed help in their passing defense. Picked some of the defensive line players because, as we said, it's a very deep draft, and people had their guys. And Prince Amukamara just keeps
Billy,
falling.
I have to cut you off right there. The pick is in with the 15th selection.
With the 15th pick of the 2011 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Mike Pouncey, center, Florida.
His brother Marquise went 18th to the Pittsburgh Steelers last year at the center position and was absolutely terrific. Perhaps the Dolphins looking at that Pouncey pedigree at number 15.
Joe, when you look at a guy like Mike Pouncey, very similar to his brother in build, almost identical in size, but the way Mike Pouncey, he struggled, yes, at times playing center last year for the University of Florida, but this guy is going to be impact right away at the center or guard position. The way he's really strong at the point of attack, really can manhandle defensive alignment, and his skills, he's a great run blocker.